Welcome to part 2. We are almost done. 2 more problems. So we are going to write an equation now from a description instead of a graph. So looking at the following, I have an equation of a polynomial. I have a single root at a 1, a double root at a -4, and a y-intercept of 16/3. They also told me the end behavior is as x goes to -infinity, y goes to infinity. As x goes to infinity, y goes to -infinity. So let's talk about what this means. This is on the left side. So on the left side, my arrow is pointing up. On the right side, my arrow is pointing down. So what this tells me is the graph starts up high, ends down low, so the graph is negative. So essentially, I know my a value is going to be a negative number. That's kind of all it tells me. So not a ton of help. Let's start off by writing an equation. So I'm going to start off with y equals. Again, I don't know my a value. This single root at a +1 will turn into x minus 1 without an exponent because it's a single root. This double root will turn into a +4 with an exponent of a 2 for being a double root. Now they told me my y-intercept, and so again, a y-intercept would be 0, comma, my number. And so I'm going to take that number and substitute it into my equation. So for my y, I'm going to have 16/3. For my x values, I'm going to have 0. So I would have 0 minus 1, and then 0 plus 4. So let's simplify these parentheses. 0 minus 1 is -1. 0 plus 4 would be a 4. And let's go ahead and drop down our a. To simplify this, 4 squared would be 4 times 4, 16. 16 times -1 is -16. And then that a would come, follow along behind it. Equals, I've got this 16/3 in front. So to solve for a, I'm going to divide by a -16 on both sides. Now again, if you have a calculator, we could type it in. And I could say 16/3, which is this crazy decimal, and then divide it by -16, which gives me another crazy decimal. And if you do not know what fraction that is, you can press the math button, enter, enter, to get -1/3. If this was on a non-calculator part of a test, which would be kind of mean, dividing by -16 is the same as multiplying by its opposite reciprocal. And so you would have 16 divided by 3 times -1/16. Those 16s would cancel out, leaving you with -1/3. So nice little fun fact too, fractions in elementary, middle school. All of that work to show you that your a value is a -1/3. Again, use your calculator, mental math, up to you. So take this -1/3, put it in place of a, and then boom, you are finished with your equation. All right, last problem. I want you guys to try it on your own. Kind of a tricky equation. Write an equation of a cubic function whose graph passes through the following points. So you're going to need to figure out which ones are x-intercepts, which ones are y-intercepts to help you figure it out. So press pause, and I'll show you the answer in 5 seconds. Boom. So my x-intercepts would be -6, -3, and 3, 0. Again, your y-intercept is always when x is 0. So I'm not going to use this one to start off. Since it's a cubic and I've got 3 roots, I'm not going to have any multiplicities. If I only had 2 roots, I could have a multiplicity, but again, they would have to tell you which one. The second part would be to plug in the point that they give you. And so I plugged in a -9 for my y, I plugged in 0 for my x's. After solving all this loveliness, you end up getting the fraction 1/6 for your a value, which is why the equation would be the following. So again, on every single problem that we did today, we plugged in the y-intercept. Do not freak out if they give you another point like 2, 4. You can still write the equation of something as long as they give you a third point to plug into your equation to find your a value. Alrighty, you guys can now head to your assignment of Delta Math. You got some multiple choice, non-multiple choice. Good luck.